What if I told you that the cup of instant coffee sitting on your desk right now traveled thousands of miles, survived freezing temperatures of -58 degrees, blasted through air hotter than lava, and was tested by professionals who drink 100 cups a day, just to make sure it tastes perfect? Every single second, more than 11,000 cups of instant coffee are consumed around the world. That's over 1 billion cups every single day. And behind that simple spoonful of brown granules is a global operation powered by over 100,000 farmers, massive machines, robotic arms, and some of the most extreme food engineering on the planet. Today, we're going inside the unbelievable journey of instant coffee, from a bright red cherry on a farm to the jar in your kitchen. It all begins in the world's coffee capitals, countries like Brazil and Vietnam. Here, coffee plants bloom with delicate white flowers that last only a few days. But over the next 6 to 9 months, those flowers transform into vibrant red cherries. And inside each cherry, 2 precious coffee beans. Timing is everything. Farmers wait until about 95% of the cherries are perfectly red. Too early, and the flavor isn't developed. Too late, and the quality drops. Once the moment is right, harvesting begins. On smaller farms, workers handpick each cherry one by one. But on large-scale farms, massive harvesting machines take over. These machines glide over rows of coffee plants using over 1,500 vibrating rods that shake the branches up to 1,000 times per minute. In just 2 to 3 seconds per tree, ripe cherries fall onto collection plates below. In only 5 hours, one machine can harvest up to 60 bags of cherries, a process that used to take days. But picking the cherries is just the beginning. Within 8 to 12 hours, the freshly harvested cherries arrive at a wet mill. Here, they're poured into a giant water tank called a gravity separator. The good cherries sink. The unripe or defective ones float. Simple physics, but extremely effective. Next comes depulping. Rotating drums gently press the cherries against fixed plates, separating the juicy outer fruit from the beans inside. The leftover skins? They're reused as compost back on the farm. Nothing gets wasted. Now the beans are covered in a sticky layer called mucilage. To remove it, they're placed in fermentation tanks filled with clean water. For the next 12 to 24 hours, natural enzymes break down that sticky coating. But here's the catch: ferment too long, and the flavor is ruined. So farmers monitor this stage carefully. Once ready, the beans are washed repeatedly until the water runs clear and the surface feels perfectly clean. Then comes drying. The beans, still covered in a thin parchment layer, are spread out under the sun. For 1 to 2 weeks, farmers rake and turn them constantly to ensure even drying. The goal? Reduce moisture to about 11%. Not 10, not 12, 11. Precision matters. Once dried, the beans head into a hulling machine that removes the parchment layer, revealing vibrant green coffee beans. These are sorted, graded, and packed into 60-kilogram bags labeled by origin and quality. And then, they travel. Ships, trucks, and trains transport these beans across continents to massive coffee factories. When the bags arrive, robotics take over. Mechanical arms equipped with spider-like grippers lift the heavy sacks and place them onto conveyor belts. Moisture sensors scan each bag. If humidity levels are even slightly off, the bag is rejected automatically. Random samples are taken by robotic probes. Only the approved beans continue forward. Before roasting, the beans pass through vibrating sifters to remove debris and broken pieces. Then comes one of the most surprising parts of the entire process: human taste testers. Professional coffee tasters sample up to 100 cups a day. Their job? Detect the smallest flavor differences. One subtle defect could impact thousands of jars. Once approved, it's roasting time. Inside massive rotating drums heated between 370 and 540 degrees Fahrenheit, the beans tumble continuously. Roasting can last anywhere from 8 to 20 minutes, depending on the desired flavor. Here's something most people don't know. Lighter roasts actually contain more caffeine. Darker roasts have bolder flavor but slightly less caffeine. After roasting, the beans are cooled rapidly using powerful fans to lock in aroma. Then they move into industrial grinders that crush them into a coarse powder. But instant coffee isn't just ground coffee. This powder is brewed into a super concentrated liquid coffee extract using steam and pressure. Think of it as an ultra-strong coffee shot on a massive scale. Now the real transformation begins. There are two main ways this liquid becomes instant coffee: spray drying and freeze drying. Let's start with spray drying. The liquid extract is pumped into a giant spray tower. Inside, high-pressure nozzles turn the coffee into a fine mist. At the same time, scorching hot air, nearly 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, blasts through the chamber at 400 miles per hour. The water evaporates instantly. What falls to the bottom are tiny dry coffee particles, the classic instant coffee powder. Fast, efficient, powerful. But for premium instant coffee, there's an even more intense method: freeze drying. First, the liquid coffee is concentrated into a thick syrup. Then it enters a 30-meter-long freezing tunnel cooled to minus 58 degrees Fahrenheit. The coffee freezes into a solid sheet of coffee ice. That sheet is crushed into granules. Next comes sublimation, a scientific process where frozen water turns directly into vapor without becoming liquid. The frozen granules sit in a low-pressure chamber heated to about 140 degrees Fahrenheit for 5 hours. The ice inside them disappears as vapor, leaving behind perfectly dry coffee crystals packed with preserved aroma and flavor. It's basically science fiction in your cup. Once dried, the granules move to packaging. High-speed filling machines pour coffee into jars in less than a second. Some factories fill up to 320 jars per minute. That's 250,000 jars per day. Each jar is sealed airtight to protect freshness. Caps are applied, labels are wrapped, boxes are stacked, and just like that, what started as a flower on a plant months ago is now ready for your morning routine. From vibrating harvesters and fermentation tanks to robotic arms and freezing tunnels. Instant coffee is one of the most engineered beverages on Earth. So the next time you stir a spoonful into hot water, remember, you're not just drinking coffee. You're drinking months of farming, thousands of miles of travel, extreme temperatures, precision science, and the work of hundreds of thousands of people. All in one cup. If this blew your mind, make sure you subscribe for more insane behind-the-scenes journeys of everyday products. Because once you see how things are really made, you'll never look at them the same way again.